good on its opening drives this year. Obviously, a lot of fans of the Saints watching, a lot of fans of the Lions, and a lot of you who have your fantasy football game on the line in the semifinals. See if you can make your championship weekend. So, any of those categories, but if you just love football, good to have you on board on this Monday night. Just 2 more weeks of the regular season after tonight. Sam Martin, who's the Lions punter, is set to kick it off for the 4-9 Lions. C.J. Spiller will return. Marcus Murphy, rookie, has been doing much of the kick and punt returning for New Orleans, but he's done for the rest of the year. Here comes Martin, and off we go from New Orleans. Nothing for Spiller to do anything with, and Drew Brees will take over at the 20-yard line. So that completion percentage, he's completed 2 out of every 3 passes he's thrown. That is the highest in NFL history. And when he comes in here, he throws a touchdown. 52 straight games in the Dome, NFL record in any building.
And he's healthy again, Mike. Meticulous as ever. He's making all the throws. He's 36 years old. Will he ever slow down?
Opening drive starts from the 20. It'll be a run with Tim Hightower. Goes to the right side for 3 yards. Hightower's their back. They've lost a bunch of guys along the way this year. Protecting up front. Coming on at left tackle, Armstead. They like him. Max Unger came over from Seattle, the Jimmy Graham trade. Evans and Streiff have been here since 06. We mentioned Hightower, Spiller, and Kendall Hunter will carry the ball tonight. Brandon Cooks is the difference maker, wide receiver. 20th overall pick from a year ago, really coming on this season. Spiller's now the back. It's 2nd and 7. Brees' first couple of options not available. Comes sideline. And a minimal gain to Spiller. It'll be a gain of 2 as Jason Jones was putting on the heat for the Lions.
I like Terrell Austin, a defensive coordinator of the Lions. He's going to mix up the coverages all night. They're going to play man-to-man. They're going to play zone coverage, 2 deep, 3 deep, you name it. They want to confuse Drew Brees, make him hold the ball a tick longer so Ziggy Ansah and his Lion pass rush can get home.
Good matchup, 94 in white, 72 in black. Teron Armstead, the left tackle, and Ziggy Ansah, the Lions defensive end. Here it is on 3rd and 5, and Brees throwing sideline, incomplete, intended for Cooks, and with him every step of the way. Guy emerging as the Lions' #1 corner, 30-year man Darius Slay.
You're not kidding, Mike. He plays star coverage. He's going to go find the best receiver every week in man-to-man situations with confidence. And he told you right away who he thinks the best receiver of the Saints is, erasing Brandon Cooks. Nice job by the Lion defense.
Golden Tate, solid punt return man to take back the kick of Thomas Morstead. Got a quad issue. Going to watch see if he kicks off tonight. Good hang time in 46 on that punt. Tate takes it right up the field and gets a dozen on the bring back to the 42-yard line where Matthew Stafford of the Detroit offense will take over. This is where it all started. The first of his now 91 starts was right here in New Orleans. No Lion has started more games, but he's only won 39 of them through 90 games. 25,000 yards, the quickest anyone has gotten that 25,000-yard mark. A lot of stats, not enough wins. Amir Abdullah, the Detroit running back. And he'll come left. And the rookie will gain a yard. John told you about their group up front. They've invested 1st to 3rd round draft picks over the 4 guys on the left. Michael Ola came over this year after San Diego waived him to play right tackle. Abdullah, Theo Riddick, very, very good receiving back. Tatum Johnson, the pass catchers. Lance Moore's back in the Dome. Played here for so long for New Orleans. And Calvin Johnson, they want to get him going. Just 1 reception last week against St. Louis. Empty backfield. Stafford loves empty formation. He'll get brought down for the sack. Loss of a yard. Kasim Edebali with his 4th of the year.
This offensive line is just not playing well enough for the Lions. Edebali, number 91. Going to get a sack here. Jordan pressuring on the outside. Good coverage down the field. And Matt Stafford continues to take a beating no matter who calls the plays, Mike.
Both of these units on the field. Detroit offense, New Orleans defense with a coordinator change mid-season. 3rd and 9. They rush 3. Stafford's got nobody open. Looks to take off. Not going to get very far. He'll be shy of the 45-yard line. Again, Edebali. So both teams open 3 and out.
Once again, it's the punishment that takes a toll on Stafford. Just listen to the hits that he takes, Mike. Nobody open downfield.
Martin to punt it away. High, good fair catch signal, and a last-second decision to get out of the way by Brandon Cooks. I mentioned that the man who was returning punts, Marcus Murphy's hurt. A little indecision there with Cooks early on. Stafford was a runner, took that shot. Face master, Edebali. ESPN's Monday Night Football brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. Coors Banquet Beer, brewed in Golden, Colorado since 1873. And NFL Mobile, stream live local Sunday and primetime games on your phone. NFL.com/mobile. Steamboat on the Mississippi, the Natchez. You see there in our coverage from Spider Camp tonight here in the Dome, brought to you by DirecTV. Drive 2 for New Orleans will start back at its own 6-yard line. Agrees the first down handoff, and this Tulloch with the tackle of Kendall Hunter limits the gain to a yard. Showing the other 10 guys helping Stephen Tulloch on the defense. We mentioned Ziggy Ansah, a couple of sacks tonight to lead the league. Set the Lions' all-time single-season record to boot. Tulloch in the middle. Tahir Whitehead will be involved covering linebackers, or covering tight ends from his linebacker spot, I should say. In the secondary, former Saint Isa Abdul Quddus getting the start against his old team tonight. Gain of 2 on first down. Here's Breeze. It's deflected and incomplete. The Lions get very few deflections at the line of scrimmage. Haloti Ngata able to get that on the diminutive Drew Brees.
Well, Drew Brees has had 190 balls batted down, Mike, and Detroit has not done a good job of rejecting passes, but Haloti Ngata knows one of the keys in beating Drew Brees is to get his hands on the football, perhaps cause an interception. Ngata has been a difference maker in the last month of the season. He really stands out. Hard to single block him.
That was the 4th, as you saw the graphic go by. Fewest in the league. 3rd and 8. Brees has time here, and it's incomplete. In and out of the hands of Willie Snead, who's become a very important part of this pass game. Isa Abdul Quddus, the former Saint, forces another 3 and out.
Abdul Quddus, reading the quarterback, makes a beautiful drive on the football, and he rejects Snead. And the Saints, who have been an excellent third down offense, are 0 for 2 tonight.
Second time, Morstead kicking to Golden Tate. Not a good kick from Morstead. Going to go out of bounds. This should be marked around the 40-yard line. We'll see the official on that side come in. It'll be right at the 40-yard line.
You're good, Mike.
I'm stopping now. 1 for 1. Stafford back on the field. Trying to add to that touchdown total here in a moment. 32 yards on the punt, so Detroit will take over in Saints territory at the New Orleans 40. Teams combined 9 plays, 9 yards, no first downs to get started here. As a little shovel ahead to Golden Tate. He comes around for his receiver spot, thrown out of bounds. The gain of 7. Let's make sure everybody's okay there on the sideline. man holding the one of the down markers over there was also knocked to the ground, and the Saints athletic training staff will take a look at him as well. Dennis Allen's the new defensive coordinator for New Orleans. The former Oakland head coach Rob Ryan fired in November. So Dennis Allen has taken over. Communication was a huge problem when Rob Ryan was here. That's been sorted out a bit since Allen's come in. Stafford hit again as he throws complete to his fullback. That's Michael Burton. There's the first down line at the 30-yard line. Lions will have a first down against this New Orleans defense that has played so many new players. Cameron Jordan has now become the face and the leader of this defense. Stephon Anthony, rookie out of Clemson, linebacker, came over in the Jimmy Graham trade. That extra pick that they got, he has played well. In the secondary, Delvin Breaux emerged as one of the great stories of this NFL season. Brandon Browner, the other corner, who's been on the last two Super Bowl champs, has been flagged more than any player in the league this year. 20 penalties accepted against him. Stafford first down, rocket shot in the middle. Calvin Johnson hangs on with a flag, probably on Browner, who lifted and launched. It'll be first and goal, Detroit.
Right on cue, and Calvin Johnson, when they put him in the slot, you have to be alert for the big man down the seam. He crosses Bird's face, and there's Browner. They're going to call this to the head.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 39 defense happens to the goal. Automatic first down.
What a catch by Calvin Johnson. One catch last week. Browner, the penalties continuing to mount. It's becoming a ridiculous number, but what a catch by Calvin Johnson. Shoulder to the head.
19 on the play. Half the distance is 4 yards. Lions have been an outstanding red zone team this year. And it's a run with Riddick just shy of the goal line as Theo is down at the 1.
That's what makes Detroit hard to deal with in the red zone. Look at Calvin Johnson, Mike. He's got double coverage. He's got help coming from the inside. You don't see Bird the whole way in that screen, but when you double Johnson, you are vulnerable to other areas on the field. It's a big reason why the Lions love to spread you out in the red zone, because of the respect paid to Calvin Johnson.
Timeout taken here by Sean Payton on the New Orleans sideline as the Saints brought goal line personnel in. Jim Bob Cooter, the offensive coordinator, countered on the opposite side for Detroit, and Sean didn't feel like they were matched up properly. Mentioned Jim Bob Cooter. He replaces Joe Lombardi, who was here with Sean Payton and the New Orleans staff. John, when you change coordinators midseason, usually a lot doesn't change. I got the sense there's a little more different in Detroit than we may have thought.
A little bit. I think he's simplified things. He's eliminated some of the verbiage, and he's doing some of the things that Matt Stafford likes to do. I like Cooter's training. Mike, I was trained by the same guys that trained him, Phil Fulmer and David Cutcliffe at the University of Tennessee. So I like the world he comes from. He's a good young coach, and he knows Caldwell has a lot of experience with the head man.
Calvin Johnson on the sideline after taking that big hit, telling everybody he's okay there. Joyke Bell is the back. Second and goal, and Stafford throwing incomplete for the tight end, Tim Wright. The Detroit went with the heavy personnel, and it's incomplete.
I just like to see them run the football. You have Joyke Bell inside the 1. You put Cornelius Lucas in. Slam it in there with the big back. And on third down and goal, they come to their open group. It's a check with me almost every time, Mike. If you spread out and double these big receivers, they're going to hand the ball off.
Brandon Pettigrew on IR. Bear Pasco, new tight end, lining up number 80. His Lions debut here tonight. From the 1 on third and goal, Stafford chooses Tate, and Golden Tate is in the end zone for a Detroit touchdown.
This is great work by Jim Bob Cooter and Matt Stafford. He looks out in the slot. He sees it's one-on-one coverage, and this is stealing. You saw Lance Moore, the veteran Saint, run interference for Tate in the flat, and Stafford brings up New Orleans. Well executed.
sees Tate inside the pylon from Pylon Cam. Touchdown number 5 on the year for the former Golden Domer, Matt Prater, who's missed 3 extra points this year. Hasn't missed a field goal. Knocks that one through. The short punt, the short field. Lions make short work and score. Detroit was an 11-5 wild card team last year, but they dropped 7 of the first 8 against a tough schedule. Cleaned house in the front office. Let go of offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi as well. Then a little surge back. They win 3 in a row. Chance to get on the edge of the playoff hunt, and then the Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary, the inexcusable not playing for the Hail Mary, and now the questions continue as the Lions will miss the playoffs for the 13th time in 15 years. There is the owner, Martha Firestone Ford, 90 years old, the widow of William Clay Ford, who has owned this team since 1963. She and her 4 children, one of the 3 daughters there, and son Bill Jr., they're the ones who are running the team, and Martha does like Jim Caldwell, very fond of him. But Ernie Accorsi, who's been around the NFL for a long time, has been hired as a consultant, and they will bring in someone to run the football operations. So all these players and coaches, their future is going to be determined by someone who's not hired yet. Hard to figure out what the steps are after this year. C.J. Spiller brought this one out. He's going to be brought down shy of the 20-yard line at the 17, covered by Josh Bynes. And drive 3 for Drew Brees in New Orleans.
Got to be impressed with this Lion defense coming on the road, getting back-to-back 3-and-out stops. You watch this defense play in the last month. They did an excellent job in both outings against Aaron Rodgers of the Packers, and they have Drew Brees' full attention. Tough team to figure out. They do a lot of things well, and they tackle.
Tim Hightower is the running back for this drive. From the 17, Brees will go to the air on first down. It'll take Hightower out of the backfield right near a first down at the 27-yard line.
Drew Brees loves these play-action shot plays, and the Lions told us we have to take these throws away. They're going to pull the backside guard. No one's going to be there, and he's going to have to check the ball down to Hightower in the flat. Good work by Hightower, who's a great story, Mike.
29 years old, back in the league after missing 3 years. For the first down throw, Brees comes right over the middle to Hightower. The gain will be just 3 yards. John, you alluded to it. Why don't we hit it? Hightower was with Arizona back in 2008, had a 10-touchdown rookie season, part of their run to the Super Bowl, then played for Washington, tore his ACL, and there was an infection the following year, so it was years until he could get everything straightened out. That 3-year absence, he returns last week and had that huge day. You just saw the numbers, 28 for 85. And boy, was he well received in the locker room. They know what he's been through. Brees taking control of the line. 2nd and 7. Ansah forces him to get out of the pocket. And Brees will have a first down at the 41-yard line.
Drew Brees in these no-back sets. You're going to see him take off and scramble and look behind him to see who's chasing him, because Ziggy Ansah, who has been a very hot pass rusher, wanted a holding call there. Watch Brees as he takes off, look behind him to see who's chasing him. I don't blame him. First down, New Orleans, and they desperately needed that to get this offense going.
There's Ansah being evaluated by the athletic training staff of the Lions. Hightower the back. He's got it. Not going to go very far. No gain at all. Kyle Van Noy, a guy who the Lions really need to hear from. 2nd-round pick from 2014. Limited impact on this team his first year and a half. There to make the stop.
Well, left guard Andrus Peat, who was drafted to be a tackle, that time pulled around the horn, fell down. Playing a new position, and it's going to be a work in progress. Peat, number 75, new stance, new assignments. Keep an eye on him.
2nd and 10, Brees. Complete underneath to Snead. He'll get pulled down by Nevin Lawson and others. Couple shy of the first down.
Willie Snead, former Cleveland Brown. He's a coach's son. He was released. He comes to New Orleans on the practice squad, and Sean Payton says, I like this kid. He gets in and out of his cuts. He competes. He knows every position, and he's tough. and he's been very productive in a lot of situations.
Third and 2, and Breeze out of the backfield. Snead going to get it and get that first down. And he's down at the Lions' 48-yard line.
One of the things I like Sean Payton that he does is he gives his offensive linemen a break once in a while by calling these slide protections. Watch them all slide to their left. It allows them to be aggressive in their pass protection and pick up some of these line stunts. Sean Payton, a master at pass protection and moving the football. He mixes it up extremely well.
3 first downs on this drive for New Orleans. The Lions bring pressure, and Breeze shovels it to Hightower. Flag down as Hightower's down after a gain of 2. Got Zach Strief, the lineman there, who lost his helmet. We'll see if that's the reason for the flag. Pete Morelli, the referee.
Illegal use of hands, hands to the face. Number 67, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Kyrie Thornton, the ex-New England Patriot, former Green Bay Packer. He's in a rotation here, gets caught that time with a critical foul. It negates the sack and sets up New Orleans in great field position. You got to be careful. New Orleans loves to take shots just outside the red zone.
Done that for so long with Sean Payton in the 10 years they've been here.
Special!
Breeze, quick research project, see what the Lions are thinking about doing, but a flag thrown from the far side.
False start, number 82 offense. 5-yard penalty remains, first down.
It'll be 1st and 15.
One of the things he's using in this no-back set is I call it 0-1-4. No backs, 1 tight end, and 4 receivers. And if you're Detroit, you better have a lot of defensive backs. But Drew Brees loves to flood these fast receivers against this Lions secondary. 0-1-4. You don't see that very often. No backs, 1 tight end, and 4 wideouts. And they do that to try to get the advantages that they like in the slot.
Kill!
Play clock running down. No delay of game call as Breeze throws as complete to Snead. Josh Bynes is pointing to the play clock. The mechanic for the official in the back, when they see 0-0 on the play clock, they then look at the ball, and if it's gone, then there's no delay of game. So sometimes it'll say 0-0, but they won't get a delay of game call on the field. And that's what happened there.
Just seems every play, Drew Brees, some type of audible or adjustment at the line of scrimmage. Here they are in 0-1-4 again. No backs, 4 wides, and a tight end.
2nd and 7, and Breeze continuing to find Snead on this drive. Willie Snead from the west side of the state of Michigan, from Muskegon Heights, Michigan. First down.
That's what they do tonight. They like to get these wideouts against linebackers and backup defenders in the slot. Watch Snead. They like to get him on option routes, inside routes, where he can use his yards after the catch skills and get in space. He's tough to handle, and he's open formation.
Good drive rolling here for New Orleans. Started inside their own 20. Hightower left. Gain of 2. Now that Breeze is rolling here a little bit, he's thrown for 45 yards. He's got a lot of milestones potential tonight. 128 more yards. Gets to 60,000. He'd be the 4th member of that club in NFL history. 161 yards. He gets to 4,000. Extends his own record 10 straight years at 4K. And if he has a 300-yard passing night, it's his 94th. He breaks the tie with New Orleans-born Peyton Manning for most 300-yard games in NFL history. Breeze would have it alone if he has a 300 night tonight. 2nd and 3. No rush from the Lion. 4. Time for Breeze. Holston incomplete. No flag comes in. There was some contact there with Darius Slay. Go check that Quandre Diggs. I beg your pardon, bud.
Hey, Mike, that's my grinder right there.
Sorry.
Quandre Diggs out of Texas. What a year number 28 has had as a rookie. This time covering Marcus Colston, who has been a force for the Saints. And I think Diggs got away with one there. It's Pete Morelli. He's familiar to Lions fans. Mike?
Last game, Pete Morelli was the referee of the Lions played. It was the playoff game in Dallas last year. It's 3rd and 8. Lions bring 5. Breeze. End zone shot. Broken up by Slay. Looked up at the last second and knocked it away. There'll be a long field goal coming up.
It's Darius Slay. I don't even think he's in the top 10 in the Pro Bowl balloting. Here he is again, going up against Cooks. Watch him whip his head around and find the ball late in the down. What a play by Darius Slay. They ask a lot of him in man-to-man coverage every week. Pro Bowl voters, I might have to stuff the ballot box for Slay.
Well, the team comes out tomorrow, so just
I
get
gotta
here
hurry.
late. Yes, Kai Forbath from 45. Snap was high. Morstead got it down. And the man who kicked for Washington for just over 3 years puts the Saints on the board. 7-3 Lion lead. Big-time games next Monday night. The Monday after Christmas, we'll be out in the Rockies for the Bengals and the Broncos. 11-3 Cincinnati with a win will clinch a bye, at least the number 2 seed in Denver. They were talking about number 1 seed a few weeks ago. They've got to be careful. They may be out of the playoffs if they lose their last couple of games and their unsettled quarterback situation as well. Should be a great night to wrap up season 46 of Monday Night Football. Bengals and the Broncos next week on ESPN. Kai Forbath is kicking off because of a quad injury with Thomas Morstead. Morstead usually kicks touchbacks. That was short, picked up by Amir Abdullah, a very good return man. Takes it out to the 36. So when New Orleans kicks off tonight, advantage Detroit. Calvin Johnson had that big catch that led to the touchdown earlier. Back on the field in a moment. 19-yard catch for Calvin Johnson earlier gets him to 1,000 receiving yards this season for the 6th consecutive year. He's been to the last 5 Pro Bowls, All-Pro multiple times. A tremendous career now in his 9th year in the league. Only 4 catches the last 2 weeks. A lot of conversation about how effective he can still be. The 35, Abdullah in space. That's an important tackle by Anthony to pull him down, a gain of 5.
Well, Calvin Johnson is such a huge factor in the red zone, Mike. You put him out wide, and if they double him, the quarterback will hand the ball off. He's clearly doubled in and out by Browner and Bird, and they hand the ball off to Theo Riddick for a very nice game. Then you look at the screen a little bit more. You see one-on-one coverage in these open formations, and Matt Stafford says it's time to throw it. A lot of pre-snap check with me's in this Lion offense. Just keep an eye on Stafford all night. That's what he's doing.
You show there why they are such a good red zone team. The attention to Johnson. The Abdullah gain was 6. This is Eric Ebron down the field. The tight end Ebron inside the 30. Pulling away and down to the 14-yard line. It's going to be a 54-yard gain, and Golden Tate with a big block to spring the tight end.
That's just bad defense by New Orleans. Stafford's going to drop back the pass. You're going to see Ebron wide open. Kenny Vaccaro got picked off by Bro, and Ebron is off to the races. A 6-yard pass and a 50-yard gain. Can't happen.
Into the quarter, 7-3 Detroit. Quarter here in New Orleans. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Lisa Salters, Jay Rothman, our producer, Chip Dean, our director, our Monday Night Football crew. We're wrapping up week 15 here. Officially, there was a 46-yard gain for Eric Ebron, taking the Lions back into the red zone. We'll start the quarter at the 14. And give it to Joyce Bell inside the 10. And Bell is right around the 5-yard line.
That's a power play with right guard Larry Warford coming to the party. Take a look at the right guard Larry Warford. Pull from right to left. Good blocking at the point of attack. And New Orleans in trouble right now on defense.
Been the story for them. Bell had a very productive year last year. Slow to get started after an injury this season. They're sharing the running chores with Riddick and Abdullah. The fullback Michael Burton's back there. It's 1st and goal from the 4. And Stafford loves it to Burton. A walk-in score for Michael Burton, the rookie from Rutgers. And the Lions have scored on back-to-back drive.
Too easy, just a reverse pivot, play action pass, and Pasco ran interference, and no one covers Burton. You're going to see Pasco run some interference on this play action pass, and no one covers the fullback. You see 42 Anderson get picked off, and that's a walk-in touchdown for the Lions. And their red zone offense is as good as advertised.
Big play to Ebron, easily down the field. The point from Matt Prater. So Michael Burton's first NFL touchdown is on Monday Night Football, and it's from Matthew Stafford. And it's 14-3 Detroit. ESPN's Monday Night Football brought to you by The Revenant. January 8th, only in theaters. Gillette, 25 million guys have switched to the Gillette Flex Ball. Will you? Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. And ESPNFanshop.com, powered by Dick's Sporting Goods. Dukes of Dixieland. We showed you the steamboat, the Natchez earlier. These guys play on that boat 7 nights a week, 45 weeks a year.
I'd like to get on that boat.
A little silent night, Dixie style. And a holiday spirit just off the French Quarter. That was what I did buy for you for Christmas. I'm sorry it wasn't the right size. Maybe next week you can wear it.
I've already got one, Mike.
You have one. 14-3 Detroit. That very poor New Orleans pass defense is showing itself in the first 16 minutes of this one. 2 touchdown passes for Stafford. That's 38 touchdown passes allowed by the Saints this year. The all-time record is 40. Denver back in 1963. The 63 Broncos and the 69 St. Louis Cardinals, those were 14-game seasons. This is game 14. The Saints might be on the wrong side of that history tonight, if not the ensuing couple of weeks. I mentioned Dennis Allen taking over a very young defense. It's the all-time you need a scorecard to figure out who's playing. Snead, for the 5th time, they throw to the wide receiver, and he's brought down by Darius Slay.
There's only one thing for Drew Brees to do. He's going to have to win a shootout, and with Ziggy Ansah not on the field, I'll be shocked if Sean Payton doesn't throw the ball every play. It's tough to call plays and tough to play quarterback when you feel like you have to score a touchdown every time out.
Alert! Alert! Hey, 5-9 left, 5-9 left. Ready. Hey, easy. Special. Mike, 5-9 left. Ready. I'm ready. That's it.
This is 2nd and 4. Lions bring 5. Brees looks over the top. That's incomplete. And no flag comes in as Josh Bynes was holding on to C.J. Spiller.
Josh Bynes came over from the Baltimore Ravens. And defensive coordinator Terrell Austin knew Bynes from his days in Baltimore.
That's a penalty.
And that is definitely a penalty that wasn't called. 3rd and 4. And Ansah's back on the field.
Standing up, lurking. We'll see where 94 rushes from. From the middle, the flag is down, and Brees has got a 1st down connection just across the 30-yard line to Brandon Cooks, but we'll check the flag. Here's Pete Morelli.
27. Defense, offside number 27. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is a 1st down.
Glover Quinn called for that, the safety for the Lions.
Glover Quinn on a free safety blitz. Said it in the pregame. A lot of perimeter blitzes from these Lions, and they do a great job of disguising coverage.
5-5, Sammy. Ready, what's that?
1st down run with Spiller up the middle. limited gain of a couple of yards.
Excuse me. So far, Ziggy Ansah has had his hands full, Mike, with Tehran at left tackle. Armstead doing a nice job against Ziggy Ansah on his inside move. They love Armstead in New Orleans. They think he's going to be an outstanding pro. He can stay healthy. He has the athleticism and the traits that everybody's looking for.
Two terrific athletes, both taken in the 2013 draft. Armstead a third rounder, Ansah fifth overall pick. This is 2nd and 8. Flag comes down as Brees throws across to Spiller, who lost the football as he got hit there. That's ruled incomplete there on the field. So you got multiple things here. Most importantly, the injury to Spiller, the free agent signed from Buffalo, who took that hit coming across the middle.
Holding, number 73, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
5 Lions rushing. Jari Evans got a hold of one of them as Brees exited the pocket. Here's the hit on Spiller.
28 is Diggs again, and Tahir Whitehead punishing Spiller, who's walking off on his own power. Last 5 weeks, this Lion defense has been rejuvenated. They all run to the ball and hit. And if you go to Detroit and watch them practice, it's a big part of this program. Effort to the football with physical finishes, and I've seen that a couple times tonight. The alert for a screen in these long yardage situations if you're Detroit.
Second and 18, and Brees gets into the fullback out of the backfield. Austin Johnson will be stopped shy of the 30. Tahir Whitehead brings him down there.
I mean, it's just going to be a simple check down, and Tahir Whitehead, number 59, a former special teams demon, doing an excellent job in these one-on-one tackling situations. Look at the party at the pile in Detroit.
That's one of the things Terrell Austin emphasizes, as you were pointing out. 2nd year as the Lions defensive coordinator. Well-traveled before this, mostly as a position coach. Was a coordinator in college at Florida for a time. A lot of folks like him. He's a head coaching candidate in the minds of many down the line. 3rd and 12, Lions bring 4. Brees chased by Ansah. Got away. He's got room here. And he throws out of bounds and incomplete because there was nobody open downfield. Brees is limping as he got away from Ansah. Drew Brees shaken up. And so too is Ansah back at the 20-yard line.
Drew's had to run for his life. That time a very strange alignment. Another stunt and concern on both sidelines.
And Brees limps back to the sideline. Meantime, the Lions staff is out to look at Ansah. Saints have really become pass-oriented here. 17 passes those first 23. They check on both stars. Ansah for the Lions just walked off under his own power, but slowly. You see a lot of interest from the medical staff of the Saints. They're looking down at Drew Brees' foot as he throws on the sideline. He had just come over and started to throw, testing what looked to be a leg injury. 4th down, and Thomas Morstead punts it away for New Orleans to the sideline. Tate able to bring it in before it goes out of bounds and return it 5 yards just across the 30-yard line. Brees' helmet is off. They're going to go look at him back with the training staff. Here's where he gets hurt. Non-contact there as he got up on that left foot to throw. And they're going to sit him on the table and examine him. Meantime, here's Ansah, who walked off under his own power. It's unclear what Ansah hurt as he was down for a bit, sat up, and then walked off. The Lions training staff looking at him. Meantime, Brees is sitting up on the training table, having his right leg looked at. Lions have scored touchdowns their last 2 drives to take over from their own 31-yard line. Leading by 11, Abdullah. The 37-yard line, gain of 6. And one other note to clean up, John. C.J. Spiller took that hit. He left to be evaluated.
Right now, Detroit has New Orleans on the rope somehow, some way. The Saints need a stop. And Detroit continues to spread out this vulnerable secondary of the Saints. 2 receivers at the top and 2 spread here at the bottom. And Stafford just is playing check with me with New Orleans.
After the gain of 6, Abdullah in space, getting blocking up ahead to get the first down at the 44-yard line. By the way, on the New Orleans side, Matt Flynn is the backup quarterback who is dressed tonight. They drafted Garrett Grayson, but Flynn has been the one who dresses as the number 2 most games, and there is Matt Flynn warming up.
A lot of good skilled players on this Lion offense. We all know Calvin Johnson, Golden Tate, but Amir Abdullah, a good player. Riddick makes plays out of the backfield, and Lance Moore in motion, the ex-New Orleans Saint, with well over 300 career catches.
Guy made quite a career here as part of that Breeze offense when they were really rolling. Stafford stepping up, being chased. He'll minimize the damage as he gains about 4 yards before Cameron Jordan, captain of that New Orleans defense, brings him down. So, John, you bring up all the talent that the Lions have at the skill positions, the fantasy football positions. That only emphasizes your point from the start of the game. They need an O-line, they need a running game, and this would be a really dynamic team.
I think they've got to play better up front as an offense. The tight ends have to block better. The center and guard play must improve, and you see Cornelius Lucas playing tight end at the top of the screen. The Lions just have no pop at the tight end position in pass protection or their running game.
Joint Bell, no gain there. He's pulled down. He did not fake Dannell Ellerbe out on that one.
Didn't fake anybody out. You're just going to see a simple handoff. Here's Lucas on the left side of your screen. A tackle playing tight end. Where do you think the ball is going? No one blocks Ellerbe. That play had no chance. And let's see if someone on this Saint defense can mount a pass rush.
John, that's what you talked about. They don't run it well, and there's no commitment to the run. They run on a third of their plays. Only 6 teams in league history are that low in terms of their run-to-pass ratio. Historically one-dimensional, this Lions team. 3rd and 7. Tate will take it and try to get the first down on his own. And he does. Golden Tate does that so well and keeps this drive moving at the 8-minute mark of the second.
That's 31 catches for Golden Tate at the line of scrimmage or in the backfield. 31 of these, Mike. And the reason they throw him to Tate is he is hard to deal with in the open field. He's an excellent runner after the catch, and he is tough. He runs like a running back. He does not have a wide receiver build, and he has no fear.
He also has 79 catches. You mentioned all of those out of behind the line of scrimmage. 79 leads this Lion team. Back in Saints territory, right back to Tate with a block up ahead from Calvin Johnson. The flag is thrown. You can block within a yard of the line of scrimmage at any time. You cannot block unless the ball has been touched by the receiver. We'll see what the flag is.
There's no foul for offensive pass interference as the block was at the line of scrimmage. Result of the play, first down.
Well, it's a play you see Friday night and Saturday. It's a bubble screen. It's a running play with a built-in bubble screen, and if the box is loaded, the quarterback throws it outside. And nobody doing it quite as much as the Lions. 32 times, Mike, Golden Tate has caught the ball at or behind the line of scrimmage. New Orleans has to do a better job taking that away.
And that block, the rule says within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage. They'll give you to 2 yards, and then after 2 yards you get flagged. We've seen that called so often this year. They rule that was within the 2. Abdullah runs left, and Amir Abdullah will be tripped up on the edge. Vaccaro came up, and Brandon Browner. Beg your pardon, flag is down.
Holding. Number 75. Offense, 10-yard penalty remains. First down.
It's the right guard, Larry Warford.
Like this running game, it's getting me a stomach ache. Not only do they lose yardage, they commit penalties. And when you run the football with a 14-3 lead, you can't grab people and commit those kinds of penalties. makes life awfully hard on any quarterback, and I'm sure Matt Stafford is tired of these 1st and 20s.
Hey, 44 down, 52! 52! Hey, 52, track 50! Track 50!
Theo Riddick, the eyes you saw there, has been great out of the backfield for Stafford this year, doing things like that. Riddick, what a move! My friend Mr. Raftery would say, pick up the lingerie at the 20-yard line, 1st down.
I told you this is my favorite Lion, man. I watch this kid, I get excited. You throw a simple check down, 2 yards deep, right in front of the linebacker, and that is awesome. Donnell Ellerbe going to be on SportsCenter tonight. What a beautiful move by Theo Riddick.
Ellerbe's not alone. Riddick has done
No,
that
he
many
isn't.
times this year. Stafford's hit his last 7, that one for 21 yards. Riddick and Abdullah both in the game. They're both split. It's essentially 5 wide. It's quickly Abdullah. And this Saints defense on the ropes. Delvin Breaux with the tackle. They are being forced to cover and tackle, 2 things they have not done well throughout this season.
You know, this Theo Riddick, you can use him like you can use a wide receiver, Mike. We had great receivers in Oakland, Tim Brown, Jerry Rice, and Riddick runs routes in the slot that they would come here tonight and say, man, that's a good route. Theo Riddick is a guy you can use so creatively and mismatch linebackers big time.
Second and 5, and Abdullah has the 1st down at the 5. 1st and goal, gain of 10.
Jim Bob Cooter doing an excellent job using his personnel. You've seen Riddick, you've seen Bell, inside handoff. Good zone blocking on the backside, and Abdullah. Really a trap play that time. Nice work.
Meantime, Drew Brees continues. His right ankle was taped. He's working on the sidelines there for New Orleans, trying to find a way to see if he's comfortable enough to play. Now they're readdressing the tape job and the foot area as the concern remains to New Orleans with their quarterback's health and their defense. 1st and goal, Detroit. Stafford for the 3rd time in the 1st half, a touchdown pass. And it's Golden Tate for the 2nd time, but there is a flag down on the opposite side of the field at the 1-yard line.
Illegal use of hands to the face, number 39. Penalty will be declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
Does not count against the Brandon Browner odometer of penalties. And the Lions have taken a 20-3 lead.
Matt Stafford on fire. Not much of a pass rush. And he has all the deliveries that you can think of. And in the red zone in tight windows, not many people can hum it in there like Stafford.
Number 2 for Golden Tate. Lions best in the league red zone percentage, getting even better. Long road for New Orleans. They are down 18. We'll see if number 9 is coming back out to play quarterback for New Orleans. Tradition, the NBA on Christmas Day. The local team, the New Orleans Pelicans, with Anthony Davis, will be in Miami. Hubie Brown and I will be in Oklahoma City for the Bulls and the Thunder, the centerpiece. LeBron and the Cavs against the 26-1 Warriors, then the Battle of Texas and the Battle of Staples Center. 5 games, Christmas Day, the NBA on ESPN and ABC. There's Drew Brees ready to get back at it for the Saints. Tom Benson, the owner of the Saints, also owns the Pelicans, and in a very rare setup, the 2 teams have their training facility in the exact same spot. Low kickoff is scooped up by Michael Ho'omanawanui, the tight end for the Saints, and he gets out to the 27-yard line. So we'll keep a close eye on Brees, a little bit of a gift. See if he can get his team on the comeback trail. Stafford's hot, hit 9 in a row, 3 touchdown passes, only 1 incompletion. Brees has had all short stuff, and then the injury on the last play. He's back on the field as the Saints take over. at their own 27, down 18. And they'll run it with Hightower to the right. A good opening for Tim Hightower. Lost the... Nope, he held on. He got 9 yards on that carry. Lisa, you were watching as they were treating Breeze during that last series.
Yeah, Mike, when he was over here on the sideline, you could tell that he was still experiencing some discomfort in that right foot. They taped up the bottom of the foot, not the ankle, but the bottom in the arch support area. He got up, he threw a couple balls, simulated a couple of dropbacks. You could tell he still wasn't comfortable. He's back out there, but he does seem to be playing through something right now, Mike.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that foot. 2nd and 1. Hightower to the left. Trapped behind that line of scrimmage, and he'll be brought down for a loss. Karan Reed was there first, and then Devin Taylor cleaned up. John, on a Detroit defensive line, they don't have Ziggy Ansah for the moment. Ansah is dealing with an illness, the Lions tell us, and his return is questionable.
They do an excellent job rotating linemen. Nata just checked back in. They roll 8 different defensive linemen at you, and they keep these big men fresh throughout the night.
So 5 DBs here on 3rd and 3, and Breeze is complete to Cooks. Brandon Cooks for the first down at the 40-yard line.
An excellent throw by Drew Brees in a tight window. Detroit playing zone coverage, and that ball just fits between Diggs and Slay for the first down.
C.J. Spiller is back in the game. He went through the concussion protocol and was cleared to return. With the snap imminent, the Lions have too many players on the field. This will be a penalty.
12 men on the field. Defense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Sean Payton will drive people crazy with all his personnel groupings. We talked about 0-1-4, no backs, 1 tight end, 4 wideouts. Then he'll bring in 3 tight ends, then 2. And Detroit tries to counter with the correct personnel on defense. Sometimes you get messed up.
The gain of 5, Spiller, first carry since the big hit. Tulloch stops him for no gain. So you coached against guys like this. If you were coaching against the Sean Payton team, would you practice your substitutions that week?
Yes, you better practice them throughout the year, because if he's on your schedule, you're going to have to be flawless in your communication and substitutions. And Sean Payton has done a great job throughout his career using his roster and using his personnel. And he's got his hands full now, down 18 before the half.
And a 2-minute warning here in the Superdome in New Orleans. Time is coming up with Chris Berman. We'll have Boomer's final drive. Talk about Carolina's continued pursuit of perfection. The scene in San Diego was very unique at the end of the game yesterday. The updates with Adam Schefter, Chris Mortensen, a lot going on, including the latest on Odell Beckham Jr., who is appealing the 1-game suspension that came down from the league office a few hours ago. Toyota halftime ahead. We continue to watch through the timeout in that drive. Drew Brees is not comfortable on that right foot. Here he is on 2nd and 5. Pressure comes. He gets hit. Got it to Spiller. Great job of hanging in by Brees. Spiller's got the first down at the 41-yard line.
What a throw by Drew Brees under fire. Just watch the pressure that Brees is under. That's an amazing throw.
Gain of 14 puts New Orleans over 100 yards. 41. Brees trying to dump it over the top to Spiller. It's incomplete. Drew Brees' movement is so important, John. Let's watch what you've seen here the last few plays of this drive.
Well, just watch Drew Brees get away from the center and try to hand the ball off and carry out his fake. He's clearly hurting. Got to keep an eye on that as he goes into the locker room at halftime. If he can't protect himself, you won't see Drew Brees out there very much longer.
So much of what he does is movement.
Hey, kill. Like 5'7".
And a lot of that is to make up for the lack of height, to be able to see. Off and off the spot. Hightower on the draw. Inside the 30, and Hightower to the 25-yard line. Glover Quinn, who made the tackle, took the worst of it. And he is slow to get up for Detroit.
That's a great job by Drew Brees. He saw the 2 safeties depart out of there deep, and he automatic to a running play. And Hightower has a big run.
Well, and two things happen there that would not have happened in the past. One, Teron Armstead, the left tackle for the Saints, tried to tell Quinn to stop and stay down. He goes down, he gets that leg to the head there, and you can see obviously that he was woozy. So Armstead tried to stop Quinn, who was getting up on his own, and then Pete Morelli, the referee, did a great job of running right over there to make sure that Quinn didn't go any farther towards the sideline, and allowed the Lions athletic training staff to come out, assess him for the moment, and assist him off right to the Detroit locker room. Again, such attention on that subject, and that has been a point of emphasis for the officials throughout the season and re-emphasized during the year to help out in identifying what's going on the field. And Pete Morelli and his crew did a perfect job there just to make sure that Glover Quinn didn't go any farther and got the proper attention.
And Quinn, a valuable member of this secondary. The Lions have only picked up 6 interceptions all season. Quinn has 10 interceptions in his last 2 seasons as a Lion. It's the one area I know Terrell Austin, the defensive coordinator, would like to see improve.
Ziggy-Ansah's been out for most of this drive. As we said, suffering with an illness. James Ahedebo, who's played a lot of snaps earlier in the season, but have dwindled over the last 4 weeks. He comes in the lineup along with Isa Abdul-Quddus, and a flag is down.
False start, number 72 offense. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
And just one procedural cleanup. The Lions go from 3 to 2 timeouts because the injury in the last 2 minutes automatically takes a timeout off your side.
A lot of backup pass rushers out there for the Lions. You see Tapp and C.J. Wilson. Good time to drop back and throw it if you're New Orleans.
Ready.
Number 29, it's Breeze towards the end zone, and it's brought in by Cooks for the touchdown. Brandon Cooks, great job to locate the ball in the air as he was covered by Slay. It's the first touchdown of the night for the Saints.
Darius Slay had done an excellent job throughout the first half against Cooks. And that time Slay has good coverage again. It's just hard to defend the back shoulder throw that Drew Brees has perfected. And what a catch by Brandon Cooks. You can't cover a man any better than Slay just covered Cooks. What a grab by the second-year man.
We will review
contact here.
the previous play.
Looks like there's contact before the ball crosses the plane. A perfect look there, including the crumb rubber hitting pylon cam. There's the contact, the knee down, the ball there at the 1-yard line. This probably will be a touchdown off the board and first and goal at the 1. Jerry Austin, our twice Super Bowl referee in the booth, concurs with our assessment before the break that this will be reversed. Then first and goal right around the 1-yard line. And here's Pete Morelli.
After reviewing the play, it was a completed catch, but the receiver was down by contact inside the 1-yard line. First down, New Orleans. Number 65 is reporting as an eligible receiver. Number 65 has reported.
Lions got to be ready to take a timeout on defense to give Stafford time should they be short.
You're right, John. Well, the clock starts on the ready for play. It's underway and rolling now. First and goal from the 1, inside handoff to Ho'o Manawanui, trying to run it in there, and the Lions try to get it out from the tight end, who's lined up at fullback and rarely is in a situation where he's carrying the ball.
Wow, that's a scary reverse pivot handoff to a tight end.
I don't think he's ever carried the ball in his career. And the timeout taken here by Detroit that you talked about with 52 seconds left. We'll continue to watch Brees flex that right leg. That foot is certainly bothering him. He's trying to play through it.
You know, Ho'o Manawanui does a lot of dirty work for the Saints, and Sean Payton said, hey, I got to throw him a bone, get him a catch. That time he tried to get him a touchdown on the ground. Somehow, some way, important to Saints.
That was
across the goal line.
That was, John, his first rushing attempt. From the 1, he'll leave this time. Hightower hit by Abdul-Quddus, fights forward and breaks the plane for the touchdown.
You got to love Tim Hightower. all he's been through. He's running the ball like every run is the last run of his life. This is all Hightower. You're going to see Caduce number 42 unblocked. And Hightower is not denied. What a great finish by a man that's just happy to be playing.
Illegal formation. Number 65 was on the end of the line and did not report or was on the end of the line. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Well, that's interesting because Senio Kelemete had reported for first down, but did not re-report for second down. Because remember, Pete Morelli said 65 is an eligible receiver. And there he is. So he has to tell the referee again that he is an ineligible receiver and re-report. And Kelemete did not in that case. So it backs them up. It's second and goal. So initially the touchdown ruled on the field by Cooks on the pass and Brees is overturned, and the Hightower touchdown run is overturned.
It's an unbelievable mistake by a veteran guard. Kelemete, second down and 5. And Brees will be in a check with me.
They'll run it again, and it's Hightower again. This time he's stopped at the 1-yard line. It will be third and goal, and a timeout taken. Detroit using its final one with 43 seconds to go. Sean Payton called over Pete Morelli, who went over with a couple of his other officials, including line judge Sarah Thomas, who's working this side of the field in this first half. Payton wanted clarification on that penalty call for the illegal formation, knowing that Kelemete has stayed in the game. All the attention to reporting and re-reporting that we've seen from last year, the playoffs, and then this season as well, factored in there. Third and goal for Brees just outside the 1. And again a run with Hightower, who is stopped the second time by Quandre Diggs. It was Haloti Ngata with the first hit, Diggs with the second, and let's see if the Saints go for it here on fourth down.
Haloti Ngata, still a dominant run defender. He rejects this running play. And Hightower's cleaned up by Diggs. That's great run defense by Detroit.
Payton's going to run down the clock and take his final timeout and run this final play of the half. As you look at the replay again. Has Ngata been playing better, John, in the second half of the season?
You still cannot single block Haloti Ngata. When you double him, it's good for everybody else. He'll be a free agent at the end of this season. Be interesting to see where he ends up. The man can still get it done.
A 4-game suspension to start the season. All those years with Baltimore. So 3 seconds left and no move towards the field goal unit.
Field goals aren't going to help you in this game. This defense of the Saints is struggling. Matt Stafford is red hot. They need touchdowns. And Drew Brees, much like Matt Stafford, in control in these red zone situations. Sean Payton is going to call 2 plays. Drew Brees is going to survey the defense and decide which one to go with. Both of these teams very good in red zone offense because of their quarterbacks and the responsibilities that these coaches give them.
So often in these situations, it's been Drew Brees and Marcus Colston connecting. The veteran lines up to the right side. Fourth and goal, and Ihedebo was signaling for the timeout. Wait, Detroit doesn't have any timeouts to take. The Lions
Detroit
has
no timeouts left. We will redo the play.
One of those situations where if you know they have no timeouts, you don't recognize that timeout that a player is calling in most cases. But there it was blown dead. Jerry Austin, in those situations, what happens?
In those situations, you do not recognize the timeout. If you do recognize the timeout and you feel like they're trying to take advantage of you, you can penalize them. Otherwise, it's, as Pete said, a do-over.
And here we go, fourth and goal. And Brees surveys, nothing open early. Now he throws end zone, it's caught with a flag down. Colston had it. So let's see what the penalty will be.
Be an eligible lineman downfield, I believe.
Line of scrimmage was just outside the 1.
Tried to throw a middle screen to Watson.
Ineligible player downfield. Number 73 offense. 5-yard penalty. Since the result of the play was a touchdown, the half is over.
Well,
The half
3
is
times
over.
the Saints get the ball in the end zone. None of them count.
Try to throw a middle screen to Watson, and you see the lineman
Absolutely.
downfield. It's
Great
a good call by the official.
Great
And
call.
goal line defense from these Detroit Lions, and some crazy penalties to end regulation.
Ed Camp, the head linesman, heck of a call seeing that with all the stuff going on. Detroit gets the ball to start the second half. Lions 21-3. Chris Berman, Toyota halftime. Set for the second half on Monday Night Football 3. Matthew Stafford touchdown passes 1 to his fullback Michael Burton. Then Tate 2. Golden Tate with a couple. Lions defense came up with some big plays earlier on. Then on that lengthy drive to end the half, a couple of good plays by the Lions defense. Some mistakes from the Saints. Keeps New Orleans out of the end zone. We're 21-3 on the way to quarter 3. Welcome back inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. 18-point or more deficit only twice since 2007 has that been a first half story for the New Orleans Saints in this building. And John Arzales, or Zahn, be a nice name for
Call
you.
me Zahn.
Thank you, Zahn. Arzales' extraordinary moments talks about something that the Lions are doing effectively on offense.
Well, they're beating up the Saints in man-to-man coverage with these pick plays. Top of the screen, watch the receiver come down and rub off the coverage for an easy touchdown to Golden Tate. Then on a big 50-yard play, watch at the top of the screen. I thought that was an illegal pick. Jerry and I argued about it here at halftime. Then there's another play at the bottom of the screen. Golden Tate picks the linebacker covering the fullback. When you play man-to-man coverage, you have to have your defenders at different levels. So far, the Lions doing a nice job with these legal interference pick plays. I'll call them since Jerry's here, but if you're going to play man coverage, you got to do a better job with your levels of defense. And Mike, don't forget Abdullah against Forbath, who has struggled to kick off, and Abdullah leads the NFL in kickoff return yards. I don't care where he fields this, it's coming out.
Guy Forbath, the kickoff man, normally doesn't kick off. Thomas Morstead with a quad injury, allowing Abdullah to get a good kick return earlier tonight. Forbath's second half kickoff, and here comes Abdullah from 6 deep. He knocked it into the field of play. He's got to go get it, and he hits it. And Abdullah cut it back to the middle. Nearly 50-yard return, but the flag is down on that Lions sideline, even with the timing messed up. Still a chance to bring it back.
Journey return holding, number 26 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
All right, Lisa Salters for the update.
Well, Mike, remember Jim Caldwell told us that when you come into this building, you better be prepared to put points on the board because you are not going to hold their offense down for long. So while he was pleased with his defense in the first half, the first thing he said to me was, we've got to score more points. As for the Saints and Drew Brees, Sean Payton told me that Brees looked fine to him in the locker room, but his offense, he just looked at me and said, I don't know what to say about how poorly we played. We cannot change how we played in the first half, he said. But moving forward, he said he's very interested to see how they move on. He said this first drive that we have is going to be very important.
I'll tell you something about when the Saints get the ball back in a minute. First Stafford, first down, is across the middle, incomplete, intended for the tight end Eric Ebron, and Kyle Wilson, the former Jet, was in on coverage. When the Saints come back to offense in the third quarter, there'll be no Glover Quinn, concussion, he's out for the rest of the game, and Ziggy Ansah is still questionable to return. He's battling with an illness and feeling under the weather. So those two things working in New Orleans' favor, trying to make a comeback.
Saints got to get a turnover from their defense. The Lions are -9 in the turnover category this year. Saints got to get one.
That incompletion stopped Stafford's streak of 9 in a row. Gives to Abdullah, shows the speed, lowers the shoulder, and gets right near the first down at the 32-yard line.
Well, the Saints didn't get lined up correctly. You saw the defensive linemen all move right before the ball is snapped. Watch the defensive lineman. You see number 50, Stephon Anthony, try to reset the front. It's not coordinated, and the Saints paid dearly. Stephon Anthony, rookie, out of Clemson. He's going to be an outstanding pro. He's making all the calls, and the communication is difficult in this league, but you got to get it orchestrated quicker.
First and 10. Lions setting up the screen with Joyke Bell, who's got blockers. Bell across midfield and down to the 45-yard line. Gain of 23 for the running back out of Wayne State, right down the road from Ford Field in Detroit.
And Stephen Anthony upset with himself. It's going to be a screen to the left. He has the screening back in man-to-man coverage. He has a chance to slip a block and make a play. Doesn't get it done, and it's another gash after the catch for this Lion offense. They're doing a lot of damage on the ground.
Wow. Those yards after the catch. Stafford has a big arm, but has not been throwing it deep downfield tonight. No need to. And the shoddy tackling for the Saints continues. Bell pinballs for 10.
Take a look at the yardage after the catch. If you have a calculator, this is one of those next John stats, Mike, but yards after the catch. It's got to be eliminated if you're on defense, and if you're an offensive coach, you try to find as many men as you can that can make yards after the catch. And Detroit is doing a number on the Saints with short passes and long runs.
I saw what you did there. Very funny.
Yeah.
You even mentioned Hoho Manawanui earlier correctly. Big night.
I'm getting better, Mike.
For the 35, Stafford. Crossing easily open was T.J. Jones inside the red zone again to the 15-yard line. Jones in his first year out of Notre Dame.
Boy, this play action pass. Watch the linebackers step up. And there's nobody for T.J. Jones. Jim Bob Cooter, tip your hat to the young offensive coordinator of the Lions. He's feeling it.
The Lions have scored touchdowns on their last 3 drives and are back in the red zone. This is the NFL's best red zone team. 15, Abdullah, counter, left, 10, 5, walk it on in. Amir Abdullah untouched to the end zone, and Detroit scores again.
Saints can't line up. And Stephen Anthony, when there's motion, he's trying to reset the front. Watch him. You see Ellerbe and Anthony, and the Saints aren't set. They get outflanked, and they get gashed. That's a beautiful thing, coming out of the locker room, getting the opening kickoff and taking it right down the field.
It's rare that you have a walk-in touchdown at the 15-yard line with a guy untouched like that. Extra point, Prater. The last 5 games on that drive were 10, 23, 10, 20, and 15. For the first time since his first carry, Abdullah with a touchdown run. ESPN's Monday Night Football brought to you by Burger King. Now get 10 chicken nuggets, only at BK. DirecTV, call 1-800-DirecTV. Navy Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. And Walmart, stop by a store, visit us at walmart.com to share wonder every day. Giacomo's, one of the great New Orleans eateries. Did you have any of the alligator sausage cheesecake last night?
No, I did not.
No. Coverage from Spider Cam brought to you by DirecTV.
Alligator sausage cheesecake.
Yes, sir. Signature shrimp and alligator sausage cheesecake.
Only in New Orleans. Gotta love it.
Great spot, Giacomo's. Authentic, real good. New Orleans defense has been real bad. The Lions just walked right through them there. 4 consecutive drives for touchdown, and Drew Brees and the Saints in a 25-point hole. Early third. 15.5 sacks this year, is tied for second in the NFL. J.J. Watt and Ziggy Ansah back on the field. Played minimal snaps in that first half, dealing with illness. The Lions have scored 4 touchdowns. They only run 29 plays in this game.
Hey, Packer left 57, Packer left 57.
We'll watch Brees and that right foot injury taking over their own 20. Ansah spins, and Brees goes down. Jason Jones also brought the pressure, and the sack of Breeze takes him back inside the 10.
Lions haven't had a lead like this in forever. And you're going to see Anza and Jones tee off. 94 Anza, Jones 91. In on Drew Brees quickly. Jason Jones, good inside pass rusher, unheralded. Gives the Lions a lot of versatility in this front.
Started career at Tennessee, went to Seattle. Now back near where he went to college, went to Eastern Michigan and Ypsilanti, Michigan. Hightower on the run. This is the best thing they've done today, was run some of these draws the last 2 drives with Hightower.
Got to slow this pass rush down somehow. And Andrus Peat, who was playing left guard, is now playing at right tackle, Mike. Zach Strief is out of the game. Peat, the first-round pick out of Stanford, was a left tackle. They like their left tackle here right now, number 72 Armstead. So here's Peat at right tackle.
Member of the athletic training staff looking at Strief on the sideline. 3rd and 11. Lions bring pressure, so 5 are coming. Breeze got rid of it right as he was about to get hit, and it's incomplete. Again, Breeze with limited mobility with that right foot injury, and the Lions are just getting to the spot.
Well, you blitz Josh Bynes, and then you're going to see a stunt with the blitz. Watch Bynes run right into the left guard. You have a replacement in at left guard, and you go right after him immediately with a pick stunt, and it gets there clean.
5 drives, 3 3-and-outs for New Orleans. Tate awaits. Morstead kicks. The sideline again. Hemming in. 47 on the kick. No return from Golden Tate. The Lions will take over at the 34. Matthew Stafford's thrown 3 already tonight. His offense is cooking. Dannell Ellerbe returned to the lineup last couple of games here for New Orleans. Important part of this team, but has struggled at times here tonight.
Oh, it's tough. He's got to make the call. You're seeing Ellerbe try to communicate to his defensive line what to do when the tight end goes in motion, and then he's blocked by Riley Reef, and it's a walk-in touchdown. Somebody's got to communicate up front a little quicker because the Lions can't be stopped.
Talk about Ellerbe and his calming influence and his smarts. Been a benefit. They are 4-1 in the 5 games he has played. Amir Abdullah with the first down carry for a yard. The penalty flag down in the Detroit backfield.
Number 64 offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Travis Swanson, that's the center, in his 2nd year out of Arkansas.
I want to go back to this Lion offensive line. Challenge them early in this game. I think for the Lions to turn the corner, they're going to have to play better up front on offense. Get a running game going. Protect this quarterback better. They've got some good young players, first rounders at left tackle and left guard. The center, Swanson, right guard, Warford, our 3rd rounders. They've got to become a great unit for Detroit. And they can build on this for the last couple weeks of the season.
Penalty makes it 1st and 20. 5 in the pattern. Stafford swings it out to Eric Ebron, 10th overall pick in the draft in 2014. And Kyle Wilson, also a first rounder, formerly of the Jets, upends him.
Ebron, he's just going to run a little flat route, catch it, get north and south, and good shoulder tackle by Wilson, who's a good zone defender.
Ebron's in his 2nd year out of North Carolina. He needs to develop a little bit quicker for Detroit. More complete tight end. Got
to do more than just catch passes. They need him to pass protect, run block. He's got to do a lot more of the dirty work to be a good tight end.
Brandon Pettigrew done for the year, tore his ACL last week against St. Louis. TJ Jones, beg your pardon, the grab of the gain. 2 yards, set up 3rd down for Stafford.
Now look at the nickel pass rushers of the Saints checking in. A bunch of unknowns, really. Number 58, Boom Watcham. Number 91, Kasim El-Bali. There's a lot of young, inexperienced, no-name pass rushers that have a chance now to play and prove they are long-term solutions here in New Orleans. They got to get after Stafford, make something happen.
having quite a night. 3rd and 11. Here comes the pressure from New Orleans. Stafford climbs the pocket. Nobody open. He'll be brought down by Adebawale. Got Stafford earlier. And the second-year man out of Boston College helped stop the touchdown run for Detroit.
Well, it's a perimeter blitz. And Adebawale, who's playing head up on Swanson at center, just stays alive. Does an excellent job against the scrambling Stafford. And let's see if Brandon Cooks, backup punt returner, can make something happen here in special teams.
Return punts last year. Questionable decision on catching or not catching it earlier. Get his hands on this one at the 25. Good job to create some space and get a 6-yard return out of it to the 31-yard line. Matthew Stafford also limped over. Over the years, we've seen a lot of Matthew Stafford get hit. Adebawale doing it there. Ball's New Year's 6 great games. The 2 semifinals, Oklahoma, Clemson, Michigan State, Alabama. Then the run on New Year's Day with Notre Dame, Ohio State, the Rose Bowl, and the Sugar Bowl right in this building. All on ESPN. Snead, the first down reception, tackled by Abdul Quddus.
Be surprised if Sean Payton and Drew Brees don't jump into 2-minute offense before long. Here they go right here.
Ready.
Benjamin Watson, the tight end, who's having a very good season. 61 catches, has been quiet thus far tonight.
Hey, 53, Oakland. Marcus. Ready. We're waiting.
Watson close beyond the line, hits Ansah before he gets out the pass. That's wide open and complete to Colston, right near the 35-yard line. That's a pickup of nearly 30 for two guys who've connected 705 times.
A fine line, Marcus Colston down the seam. How many times has Colston gone down the numbers for a big play here in New Orleans?
Like 5'9". Ready. Like 5'5" right. Ready. We're waiting. Listen.
The 36-yard line now. The pressure on from the opposite side. It's Cooks in the open field. Slay wraps him up, and Ansah comes to finish him off. No gain.
I like Slay a lot. He might be the grinder tonight. He's excellent in coverage and a very good tackler.
Robert Mathis went out, and since then he's become the guy to follow the top receivers on the opposing teams.
Ready.
Third-year player out of Mississippi State emerging as the top corner for the Lions. Did he throw? There is Watson for the first time tonight. To hear Whitehead, Stephen Tulloch the tackle. Yard shy of the first down. John, that was your guest on the bus this week. Interesting to spend some time with a tight end who's turned 35 on Friday.
He's a real tight end. I call him a real tight end. He can play tight on the end of line. He can pass protect, run block, having one of his all-time great receiving years, 62 catches you see there. But he is smart, versatile, and there's only 5 or 6, maybe 7, what I call real tight ends, Mike.
Do both.
That do it both.
Yeah.
Run blocking, pass protecting, and route running.
Tackle left to 55. Tackle left to 55.
3rd and 1.
You ready, my son?
Quick count. Breeze up top. Cooks got a touchdown. Flag down. Ansah back by Breeze.
I'm going to call this pass back for a pick play, I believe.
The flag down over here by Breeze, where Ansah hit him. And then the one downfield where Cooks got open.
Play we saw the Saints working on extensively in practice. Might be illegal contact against Detroit, but they switched the
There are
releases.
2 fouls on the defense. Holding, number 32. Penalty will be declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 94. That penalty will be accepted on the kickoff. Touchdown is good.
And Cooks has his 8th touchdown of the season.
2 receivers split to their left. They're going to switch their releases. Thought they perhaps were going to get Snead on a pick play there, but here's Ansah clearly low on Drew Brees. It's a good call.
Breeze throws his 26th touchdown of the season. New Orleans takes 40 minutes, minus a few seconds, to get on the board with a touchdown. Kai Forbath the extra point. They jump into the no huddle and get on with 7. 7-yard touchdown pass gets Drew Brees to 60,006 yards in his career. He becomes the 4th player in NFL history in the 60,000 club with Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, Dan Marino, and Drew Brees. Manning was the quarterback for Indianapolis when Indianapolis played New Orleans in the Super Bowl. One of the most famous parts of that Super Bowl was an onside kick to start the second half from Sean Payton that caught Jim Caldwell, head coach Colts, not prepared for it. New Orleans took an extra possession away from Peyton Manning at that point. Why do we bring that up? The roughing the passer penalty on Ziggy Ansah brings the ball to midfield for this kickoff, and it's an opportunity to try to jumpstart the Saints even more, perhaps to go onside here.
Got to try to steal a possession, and Jim Caldwell has been yelling at his front row for the last 3 minutes.
Kai Forbath set to kick it off. And it'll be a little pooch kick to the vacant area. Joyke Bell goes back to get it at 10, and he'll return it just past the 20-yard line. We talked about that play that happened in the Super Bowl. We'll take you back to Super Bowl 44. Caldwell against Peyton. 31-17 was the final. It was Morstead who came up with that surprise to start the second half. Saints stole a possession from Peyton Manning, and then Tracy Porter stole that pass in the fourth quarter. 31-17, and New Orleans was the home of the world champs for the first time.
You look out here in that Saint huddle, and none of those Saints are here, Mike. Very few of those Saints that won that world championship still in New Orleans. Sean Payton having to rebuild the roster. Going to take some time. They need to stop from their defense.
This is the side of the ball where the rebuild is really under construction. So many first-year players and rookie snaps played from the New Orleans defense. Stafford throws it to Bell. Joyke Bell, who had ball security issues earlier in his career, hangs on there and gets 7 on first down.
Good pass protection by this Lion offensive line. Defensive coordinator Dennis Allen resorted to blitzes the last series. Hard to blitz, though, when you're in 2nd down and 3. I look for the Lions to run the rock and run the clock.
Stafford just 2 incompletions. The run-pass ratio is 12 runs, 21 passes so far. Stafford on a boot. Throwing sideline. It's caught by the former Saint Lance Moore right in front of the bench where he used to spend a lot of time. First down for Detroit.
How about this release by Matt Stafford? You hear about it all the time, the awkward deliveries that Matt Stafford can pull off. The bootleg, he's going to be running to his right, and on the run, he just sidearms this ball with his shoulders parallel to the sidelines. Bang.
What Brees tell us, John, when we asked him about Stafford? He said, along with Aaron Rodgers, the top 2 arm talents at this position in the NFL. Stafford and Rodgers, high praise from Brees. Abdullah going to be caught behind the line of scrimmage as Kenny Vaccaro gets on the other side of the line for a negative gain.
Kenny Vaccaro playing better. He had a great rookie year, struggled last year with an ankle. Rarely will you see Vaccaro deep. He's going to be at or near the line of scrimmage throughout the night. And I'm expecting a blitz here from the Saints. 2nd down and long. You have Detroit behind in the down and distance. They were hurt the last time by a screen pass.
Negative play. 2nd and 12. 6 offensive linemen. As Lucas checked in for Detroit. They run Bell up the middle, and Joyke Bell will be about 3 yards shy of the first down.
I don't know where Donnell Ellerbe is going, but he's either running through or he's blitzing, but it's a bad run fit. Watch 59, Ellerbe. 50, Anthony. There's just no linebackers there for the cutback, and it sets up Detroit for a 3rd and 2.
See the Lions' yard per rush total is high. They've also run it 14 times. Big point of emphasis since the offensive coordinator change, run the ball more. 20 runs a game is something that the Lions want to see more of, and they've been getting it with Jim Bob Cooter calling the plays. 3rd and 2, Stafford reloads, and treble goes down. Cameron Jordan with his 9th sack of the year, and that's the 3rd for the Saints here tonight.
Hey, Detroit lost a 20-point lead to the Packers just a couple weeks ago. And Cameron Jordan against Michael Ola with sack number 9. Saints are going to jump into that 2-minute offense, and here's Cooks.
Sam Martin will punch it away. Gonna have some room to run here. 43-yard kick from the 20. Cooks did a nice job blocking the Detroit Gunners. That gave him some space, but couldn't make a lot of it. The return is 7 to the 27. Shine the light, the Monday Night Lights on the prep team here in the area. Archbishop Rummel High School from Metairie. A great season the Raiders did. 11-2. Came so close to another state title. They were hanging out in our Monday Night Football production truck, taking over. Chip and Jay and all the guys in there. His team lost the state championship game 31-28 to Catholic High School in Baton Rouge. 34-yard field goal here in the Superdome as time expired. This Archbishop Rummel program pretty good. Their coach, Jay Roth, the Saints Coach of the Year, NFL Coach of the Week, Coach of the Year campaign league-wide in all the communities around the NFL.
Great job, Coach Roth.
Yellow 80, yellow 80. Alert.
See if the Saints can continue the momentum gained last drive.
Kill. Ready. What's that?
Tim Hightower is the back. Breeze gimps his way back. Puts it up in the air, and Cooks has it at midfield. Gain of 23 for Cooks.
Great pickup by Tim Hightower. Quandre Diggs is going to blitz off the edge, and Hightower is there for his quarterback. Breeze out of the play fake and step up and find Cooks. Don't count the Saints out. This quarterback has broken a lot of hearts throwing a ball.
Ready. Reset. Hey, Mike 4-2 right. Mike 4-2 right. Ready. Reset.
As the band plays Jingle Bells, as Breeze is trying to audible. Midfield, Snead on the run. Gain at 15. They want the horse collar. They've got it. Tack on 15. Tulloch trying to say I wasn't inside the top, just pulling by the nameplate. It's 30 on the penalty plus the reception.
Personal foul. Horse collar tackle. Number 55. Defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Because that initial grab is up inside there, then pulled down, that will be called. And it's a 30-yard gain on the penalty and the reception, and the Lions defense leaking some oil now.
Just like that, the Saints right back in the red zone. Backup defensive lineman out there for the most part for the Lions.
Running into the third quarter here.
Ready. Reset.
Breeze just floats it to Cooks, who reeled it in and got tracked down by Diggs. And the third is done.
What a play by Diggs.
Each team a touchdown. It's 28-10 Detroit. Off to the fourth.
ESPN, celebrating the legacy of Monday Night Football.
For quarter number 4 here in New Orleans. Saints were down 28-3. Scored in their last drive. In the red zone, trying to make it tighter here. Breeze. Slant is caught inside the 10 to the 8-yard line for Benjamin Watson. His second grab of the half and of the game.
Benjamin Watson outside as a receiver running a slant. I never thought at 35 years old I'd see Benjamin Watson doing the same things Jimmy Graham did here.
Only tight end older active in the league, Antonio Gates, First and goal for New Orleans.
Ready. You ready, my son?
Hightower, chance on the draw there. As Karan Reed came crashing off the end there to make the play. Second-year man out of Princeton.
Seen a lot of different left guards tonight for the Saints, and Karan Reed takes his turn. See Lolito in there now, number 68. Andrus Peat started at left guard.
Lolito in there at left guard. Max Unger came over in the Jimmy Graham trade. Number 60 is the center. Second and goal. C.J. Spiller in the back releases. Underneath Sneed. Stopped at the 5. Ball comes down as he comes down. Tulloch fighting with Sneed for the ball. And just ruled down inside the 5. Third and goal.
We want to run an inside breaking route against the Lions. Buckle your seatbelt. Stephen Tulloch. That ball's out. Tulloch not doing all the things he did a couple years ago, but he still does a lot of things well.
Yeah, challenge from Jim Caldwell here. Now, was there a clear recovery via replay? We saw the replay. First off, let's determine if the ball came out before a body part comes down. Very close to that hip
Detroit
down
is
as the
challenging
ball
the
comes
ruling
out.
of the field of a completed catch. Timeout.
And you got both sets of hands on the ball there, so there's not a clear recovery in Detroit's favor. Replay. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by T-Mobile. Switch to the Data Strong Network. The United States Air Force. Experience more at airforce.com. And NFLshop.com. Get a free shipping special offer on orders today at the official store of the NFL. A great artist we've had the pleasure of meeting our times down here in New Orleans. Frenchie has done so many great pieces of work. New gallery open. Hosted us for our Christmas gathering last night. One of a kind guy. Some great work. Ruling on the field was the pass complete down by contact. Do we have a complete pass? What happens on the recovery as well? All looked at by Pete Morelli. And he's out from looking under the hood. We'll hear what he has to say. We feel the ball's going to stay with New
After reviewing
Orleans.
the play, the receiver did make a catch. On the way down, he did fumble the ball. However, he recovered his own fumble. Ruling on the field stands. It's third down. Detroit will be charged a timeout and a challenge.
And the Lions cannot earn a third challenge.
And remember, at the end of the first half, the Lions did a great job with this red zone defense, shutting New Orleans out in the goal-to-go situation.
Everybody in tight here on third and goal for the Saints. And Breeze throws to the back. Out of the hands of Watson and incomplete. Tahir Whitehead was covering the tight end. 28-10. Field goal will make it a two-possession game. That's what Sean Payton will do.
Going to run a quick double move with Watson. He faked the stick out to the outside, and Tahir Whitehead with a beautiful play, poking it out.
So the field goal attempt will come. You heard the fans booing. They wanted the Saints to go for it down here, but you do need to score 3 times down 18. One of them would be this Forbath field goal, chip shot at 22 yards. 28-13. The Saints have scored 10 here in the second half. 28-13 now as New Orleans adds that field goal, get it down to a 2-score game, still with a lot of time and 13:01 left. Saints at 5-8. They had that very close game with Carolina, the 41-38 loss here a couple of weeks ago. Beat the Buccaneers last week, 24-17. Never trailed. Held the ball for 37 minutes. Forbath, that line drive kickoff does not stay in the air long at all. And Abdullah, the very good kickoff returner, gets a lot out of it again to the 28-yard line. Amir Abdullah. So what's going to happen with the Saints going forward? Mickey Loomis is the executive VP and the general manager. Also runs the operations for the basketball team, the Pelicans, that is owned by Tom Benson. There's been a lot of conversation about the future of folks around here. There are a couple more years left on Sean Payton's contract. However, if there's any change with ownership, Payton would have the option to open up and go somewhere else, look somewhere else. People have also speculated, would another team come in and look at Sean Payton and see if the Saints wanted to let him have a conversation to think about going elsewhere. What's your sense on where Sean is in trying to rebuild this team for another run with Drew Brees here?
I think he's very loyal to the Saints organization. He's built a championship before, and he wants to do that again. And they've got some pieces that they didn't have before, but I have a feeling that he's fully confident that he can get the job done again. A lot of work to be done, a lot of speculation out there, but this isn't the only place.
It's that time of year for the 28, Abdullah with the run for Detroit. He'll gain 3-4 yards. That ball almost comes out the back end. He was ruled down. There is a penalty flag down.
Like another holding call.
Back where the hole opened up.
Holding. Number 72 offense. 10-yard penalty remains. First down.
It's Laken Tomlinson, so everyone along the line is picking up holding penalties as this game goes on. They're going at the ball with Abdullah. Remember, John, Abdullah had fumbling issues earlier this season. That's very close to coming out there.
I think it is out. And if there's a clear recovery by the Saints, Sean Payton's going to challenge this.
Ball comes out.
New Orleans is challenging the ruling on the field of the runner down by contact.
Ole Kikaka was there as the punch-out happened, 44. And we'll see, the Saints may be in business. I think the Saints are going to get this ball, and they are now sending their offense and the Detroit defense coming out. Here's Pete Morelli.
After reviewing the play, the runner fumbled the ball, was recovered by New Orleans. The ball will be placed at 38-yard line, first down. And the penalty for holding will be declined.
Fifth
First
fumble
down.
by Abdullah, second one he lost. You saw it get knocked out there by Kikaha, who gets up and gets the recovery. Interesting, as we watch that in replay, listen to the sound. The whistle blows because the play is dead. He's down. And there's the Abdullah 5 fumbles with the 2 lost. Problem he had at Nebraska. We heard about that in the draft process. But Burton, the fullback, is just standing there. He stops once he hears the whistle. Kikaha alertly does not. Gets on the ball, gets the clear recovery. Now the Saints have a great chance to get even closer.
I've seen Detroit blow a 20-point lead a couple weeks ago. Abdullah, it can't happen with a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter. Cannot happen.
Off the game's first turnover, Brees from the 38. Hightower bouncing to the outside. Van Noy the tackle, gain of about 2 yards.
Look at Drew Brees and that right foot after he hands his ball off, Mike. He is not able to move around. He's having a hard time handing the football off.
Drew is always fidgety to begin with during a game, but it's been constant with that right foot ever since he eluded Ziggy Ansah, then just loaded up to throw the ball downfield and landed on that right foot. Nobody around him, just you could see him immediately in discomfort after he made the throw. Second and 8, throwing left, it is complete to Cooks. First down for Cooks inside the 25, and Diggs takes him down at the 23-yard line.
The slant route by Brandon Cooks. Drew Brees read the blitz. He changed the play. You heard him at the line of scrimmage. He went to the quick pass. Outside foot is back. It's a 3-step slant. And Brandon Cooks can hurt you outside or inside. Good work. Timing and location. Over 60,000 yards on his resume.
Big night for Cooks. He's over 100 yards. Brees has thrown a touchdown pass yet. Hightower got Colston to block for him on the left side. And Tim Hightower gains 9 on the carry. Remember, the Lions are without their safety, Glover Quinn, who made so much happen on the back end. He got injured in the first half.
Marcus Colston, one of the most unselfish players you will find. Blocking. Just gets a little nudge on Ziggy Ansah, and then up to the second level he goes. What a pro football player he has been.
Ready.
3 tight ends in the game for New Orleans. One back. Hightower left, first down to the 11-yard line. Down 15, approaching the 10-minute mark.
Watch Drew Brees on these handoffs, Mike. And Sean Payton loves to move the pocket on these early downs. He loves to use sprint outs and bootlegs, and giving Drew Brees ailments, it's going to be hard to do that.
John, you mentioned the Green Bay game. This is exactly the way that played out. Lions dominated the first half, and then slowly but surely it was Aaron Rodgers who brought the Packers back. Brees doing the same here. From the 11, Brees, complete, and Colston's in the end zone for a touchdown.
Drew Brees stuck C.J. Spiller in motion, and the Lions went with Spiller, and no one covered Colston. And just like that, New Orleans has come storming back. Watch Spiller go in motion to his left. You see Whitehead vacate his linebacker position, and New Orleans has the perfect play called. And there's that guy, Marcus Colston, 72 touchdowns.
He and Brees, one of the top connections in terms of that. Second touchdown pass by Brees. Cooks into the third. Colston here right around the 10-minute mark of the fourth. Here come the Saints. They've scored 17 in a row, and it's now an 8-point game. Scores on their last 3 drives, 2 of them by Drew Brees touchdowns, gets him to 423 on the all-time list. Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, Tom Brady got to 427 yesterday. And Brees, who passed Marino earlier this season, now at 4-2-3. Most significant math now is an 8-point game, 28-20. Abdullah, who fumbled a moment ago. Across the 20, you see they're going for the ball at the 23-yard line. James Anderson and Josh Hill made the tackle. I mentioned Brees and Colston. It was their 72nd touchdown connection. They're the top 5 all time. Never thought you'd see Marcus Colston on the list with Harrison, Jerry Rice, Mark Clayton, and Antonio Gates.
Interested to see what Matt Stafford has for us. Things are unraveling for the Lions. They need their veteran quarterback to right the ship.
Calvin Johnson, 1 catch, just like last week. Number 24, Stafford underneath. It's a 6-yard gain as Riddick is brought down by Vaccaro. We talked about Calvin Johnson in that 1 catch game, was targeted just 5 times. In the last 2 games, it was 4 receptions. Slowly back to the huddle here. You see just 14 targets in the last, 11 quarters now.
I'm sure he has some ailments in his ankle, but this is why you get paid the big bucks, to put people away. It's time for Johnson and Stafford to do just that.
Browner covering him. He just rolled his ankle on that last play. That's why it looked like he was about to come out. Run in the backfield. Riddick is hit. They couldn't bring him down. Riddick using the speed to get back near the line of scrimmage. It's no gain. Ellerbe missed the first hit. Vaccaro got him in the end.
Ellerbe saying, what is Theo Riddick made of? The second time Ellerbe has a chance to get Theo Riddick, but you see Jim Caldwell turning to Riddick after Abdullah's fumble, and I like this Saint defense. I see why Sean Payton likes this young football team. They have not quit. Down 28-3 with a stop here. They're right back in this football game.
And the Lions have to waste a timeout for the second time. Well, one was used on a challenge that was unsuccessful. They'll be down to 1.
Well, Sean told us, he says, we're not a great team yet, but I like the energy of this team. I like their work ethic. They come to work every day. They never quit.
Yeah.
Just a minute ago, they were down 28-3. There's a lot of unknowns out there on defense, and they're learning quickly. If we could just get a stop, just get the ball back to Brees, he can do something with it. And let's see what happens here on 3rd down and 4. Megatron. Where are you?
Third and 4, here comes the pressure. Stafford fires in the middle. Tate goes up. Golden Tate, great catch to 40. First down, gain of just about 10.
They've got some good matchups here in Detroit. Browner one-on-one with Megatron, and it's Bro one-on-one against Tate underneath. And again, it's these man-to-man pick plays that have given New Orleans problems tonight. Big first down.
Outstanding numbers for Stafford in terms of the completion percentage, 20 of 22. Joique Bell now the running back. Under 8 to go. Screen set up. Oh. Bell couldn't bring it in, and if he did, there was a lot of fake grass ahead of him.
They caught the Saints in a blitz. James Anderson comes off the left side, and if Joique Bell can make this catch, it might go to the house. 2nd down and long. Got to communicate in this noise on defense. This is why you see a lot of these teams practicing in the crowd noise. It's for their defense, not for their offense.
Couple of running backs, but they're the fast backs for Detroit. 3-man rush. They drop 8. Stafford Ebron, middle of the field, yard shy of the first down.
John Jenkins, a nose tackle, 330 pounds, dropping into coverage, and Matt Stafford just threw a bullet. Here's Cameron Jordan, Saints' best pass rusher, and Riley Reef at left tackle holding his own. 3rd and 1.
Detroit has brought in Michael Burton, their fullback. Toss Abdullah, speed to the edge, first down and more. Ameer Abdullah accelerates, got to hold on to the ball, and he does it at 22, a gain of 28, first down Detroit.
And I hope Abdullah gives his coach a hug after this game for having the confidence to go back to him after the fumble. They're just going to pitch the ball, make a quick fake to the left and pitch it to the right and fool the Saint defense. And Cameron Jordan has to keep contained, but if I'm Ameer Abdullah, I got to really thank my head coach for giving me a chance to go out and redeem myself. A lot of head coaches would not want to see a young rookie back after his 5th fumble, especially where he let it loose the last time. But Cooter and Caldwell, you got to tip your hat to them.
Interesting time for all these folks in Detroit. Nobody knows who's going to be here next year because, as we mentioned, Ernie Accorsi's been hired as a consultant to bring in somebody to run the football operations. Jim Caldwell, as it was reported by Chris Mortensen on Countdown, and accurately so, the owner, Martha Firestone Ford, very fond of Jim Caldwell. And she's the one who came out and said, hey, we need to make changes. And that was well received in the Detroit area. 13 losing seasons and missing the playoffs in 15 years. And then the team got a little bump and a boost. A lot of these players and coaches with uncertain futures, these are the type of moments that their character is tested and shown as they wind down a season that will end up with no playoffs again. Right up the middle, ball comes out again. It was Bell on the carry, the ball came free, and now it's what happens at the bottom of the pile.
Unbelievable.
Somebody yelled Saints ball.
Ball's clearly out.
It is Lions ball. Pete Morelli says 2nd down.
Look at Stephen Anthony again raking that ball out. And
Riley Reef was the one at the very bottom of the pile as the ball stays with the Lions at 6.5 to go.
unbelievable that two backs, different backs, would fumble the football in this situation.
Five, Stafford up top, high pass brought in. Ebron near the goal line is ruled short.
Great throw and catch. They run a trap pass, fool the inside linebacker, and Matt Stafford continues to be dominant in the red zone.
The Lions have to be sure about this if they're going to challenge it. It's very close. Remember, they only have one timeout, one challenge
Number
remaining.
77 is reporting as eligible. 77 has reported.
There's the knee down with the ball shy of the plane. Great look down the plane of the goal from the opposite side. First and goal from the one. Joik Bell the back. And Bell inside is in for the touchdown.
That's an impressive drive by the Lions. Tip your hat to Matt Stafford. Key third down conversion to Tate. He shoots a bullet to Ebron inside the one. And this time it's Joik Bell. Good hard running, and the Lions dodged a bullet when Bell put it on the ground. But here's Prater to make it a 15-point game.
Touchdown scored, John, by Joik Bell from Benton Harbor, Michigan, who was with Buffalo and Philly and Indianapolis, and then on the Saints practice squad before Detroit signed him at the end of 2011. And he spent his years with the Lions. Now in his fourth season with Detroit, his 21st rushing touchdown, a big one. To New Year's Eve in front of the TV, Oklahoma, Clemson in the Capital One Orange Bowl, and the Spartans taking on the Crimson Tide in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. The two winners on New Year's Eve will meet that second Monday in January for the College Football Playoff National Championship. You'll see it all here on ESPN, streaming live on Watch ESPN. All six New Year's Six bowls over New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. 35-20 now, and no return on the kickoff by Martin. The Lions are sitting on 4 wins. They could be trying to get to 500. The batted ball on the Monday night in Seattle would have given the Lions the ball at the one with a chance if that was called a bat on KJ Wright. It was not. The Lions were winless. And then they made the choice after the face mask where the hand brushes the front of the mask and then the shoulder, made the choice to think that the Packers were going to lateral instead of playing for the Hail Mary. Rodgers to Rodgers, and that essentially ended any hopes Detroit had of a late season rally. Lions trying to get to 5-9 with a victory here. Breeze back to work. Cooks out of bounds. Gain of 4.
They continue to blitz these single defensive backs. They fooled the protection system of the Saints that time with a great disguise.
Out of bounds, but we were outside of 5 minutes, so no stoppage of the clock. It rolls again when it's ready for play, and Josh Bynes does a nice job breaking up the pass intended for C.J. Spiller.
Just look out there at these Detroit Lion pass rushers. They all have length. They look like NBA basketball players, Mike. Long arms, length. They're 6'5", and they have wingspans that got to be 7 feet. Look at Anza, Devin Taylor, Jones. Athletic bunch of pass rushers for the Lions.
Seven. Ready. Ready. Listen.
This is 3rd and 7 from their own 23. And Breeze underneath the Snead, and they tackle on the back end very well. And Quandre Diggs comes up with the stop. And it will be 4th down with 4:55 to go. And it looks like New Orleans is going to go for it here.
Quandre Diggs, pre-game grinder. He could be the post-game grinder. He's a candidate to be the first.
It's a rare double.
Double to grinder. I like this kid. He reminds me of a young Rondé Barber, Antoine Winfield. He has instincts, nastiness, and a lot of versatility.
4th and 6. Breeze. See is he inbounds or not. Watson on the sideline. That is ruled a catch. The Lions sideline was indicating that they thought it was not. Watson is slow to get up on the sideline. Let's watch the catch in the 2 feet. Catch 1. See where the crumb rubber comes up. It's very close. They're stopping the game for the moment because Watson is shaken up.
Looks out to me. What'd you say, crumb rubber?
Yeah, it's all the stuff that's underneath this fake surface here. Injury timeout for Watson. The stoppage was for the injury to Benjamin Watson. Drew Brees and Sean Payton picking up the 4th down there, keeping their hopes alive in this 15-point game, 4:22 to go. Jim Caldwell had the red challenge flag in hand. Is in conversation over there and chose not to throw it, and now he will throw it. We looked at this during the timeout.
Detroit is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch. Timeout.
That's going to have to be 100% sure that he is on the white to overturn that. As it was called a catch on the field, it was blown up, and you see the view there, so we'll see. There was nothing that they saw in any of those replays that gave a definitive yes, his foot's on the line or not. So we'll see what Pete Morelli, in consultation with Game Day Central in New York, Dean Blandino, the vice president of officiating, what they feel on that replay. You see Watson turned his foot as he comes back in. What was the impression on that rubber? You would guess he's out of bounds, like you said. It feels like he's out of bounds, but is it 100% definitive? I know I'm looking at Mr. Replay here like you're going to give me an answer. You're like a turtle. When there's a replay review, you know what you do? You go in a shell and just like call me when it's done.
Let's just sit around here and wait and see what the call is, Mike. I mean, instant replay challenges are a way of life now.
4:22 to go, 15-point game.
Got a big one next week, though.
Huge game next Monday night.
Cincinnati and Detroit, Denver. I can't wait for that one.
The uncertainty with the Denver quarterbacking situation. Osweiler injured his shoulder, his left shoulder. Gary Kubiak talking about nothing's changed in the quarterback situation. Wednesday will be the day you really find out what's going to happen to their quarterback spot. Of course, Cincinnati got the win with A.J. McCarron yesterday, but Peyton Manning trying to get back. We saw Archie Manning earlier today as they honored Morton Anderson to go in the Saints Ring of Honor tonight.
Be interested to see. Only Gary Kubiak knows. You have to credit young Osweiler. That's a difficult situation. Anytime you got to become a starter and replace a guy like Peyton Manning. But here's Pete Morelli with the answer
for your replay challenge.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands to catch and bounce. 1st down. Detroit will be charged their final and 3rd and final team timeout, and they're out of challenges.
So 2:22, if anything happens, the Lions can't challenge it once we get inside of 2 minutes. All that happens from upstairs in the booth. It was a 25-point Lions lead at 28-3 when Amir Abdullah scored to cap off the opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Only a couple of teams have come back from down 25 the second half. New Orleans and San Francisco, famous game Saints fans remember back in the 80s when the Niners came back on the Saints. And St. Louis and Tampa Bay, 1987. So it's 1st down, and Breeze throws middle to Cooks, who's having a big night. Right near midfield, James Ahedebo with the tackle, 1st down.
Beautiful throw by Breeze. And watch these two safeties of the Lions, the way they disguise. They're going to try to hold their shell as long as they can. And Drew Brees has done a nice job reading it.
And again, it's Glover Quinn out, so Ahedebo and Isa Abdul-Quddus been the safeties since late 2nd quarter. Underneath throw is complete, and another 1st down, a gain of 11. Good to see Watson back in there after he was slightly injured on that 4th down play.
Good pass protection by the Saint offensive line. A lot of men resting. on that Lions sideline. I'll be surprised if you don't see the front line pass rushers soon.
Brees right at 300 yards passing. That one's incomplete, off the hands of Hightower, who's covered by Nevin Lawson. So Brees at 300 on the night. Earlier became the 4th member of the 60,000-yard club. Over 4,000 yards for an NFL record, 10th straight season. He extends his own record there. And with the 300 yards, 94 games in his career, 300 or more passing yards. He breaks the tie with Peyton Manning, who we mentioned a moment ago. So those 3 milestones. Seems like there's multiple milestones every Brees game. Watson can't hang on.
And the Lions brought back their top pass rushers. And it's closing time for Detroit. Anza, Jones, Nada, Devin Taylor. Time to turn out the lights with your 4th quarter pass rush.
Brandon Coleman, first-year man from Rutgers, top of the screen. 3rd and 10.
Packer right 57. Alert, alert. Hey, Blake. Wide now. Blake. Hey, ready. Omaha. Remove.
Pass is deflected, but it was deflected by the man who went offsides early.
Offside, number 91. Defense, 5-yard penalty remains. 3rd down.
Big penalty. Brees lucky to get that off. It was inside of 2 seconds. Jason Jones, bottom of your screen, clearly off early.
He was playing the play clock. He saw it running down as well. Defensive guys know as you're getting down there and changing the play, they get a good look at the play clock, just like the quarterbacks can as well. The time he tried to beat the clock and lost.
5-9. You ready? What's up?
3rd and 5 for Brees. Over the middle. It is not held on to by Colston. Eradicated out of there by Diggs.
Who is this kid? Quandre Diggs. His brother's Quentin Jammer. Remember the great San Diego Charger, Mike?
Yep, 12 years, 21 picks in the league.
Brother trained him well. Ball's thrown behind Colston, and the competitive Diggs rips it out. And it's 4th and 5.
4-year starter at Texas was Diggs. He's a high school quarterback. You see some of that football IQ. This guy was a high school quarterback in his days in Texas. Brees trying to keep the Saints alive. 4th and 5. The crosser is Snead. Got the first down at the 21-yard line. Got away from Nevin Lawson for a gain of 14, and the Saints keep hanging on here. Under 3 minutes left.
Just great field vision by Drew Brees. It's a 3-man rush. A lot of Lions in coverage, and somehow Drew Brees finds the open man as well as anybody that's ever played.
Catch 10 for Snead.
Ready. 9-5-9. You ready? We're set.
Cooks also has 10 catches on the night. They need points now. Brees, Colston, broken up by Abdul Quddus, but a flag. He hit his former teammate, Colston, who will be looked at by the training staff. And the Lions trainer's out to look at Abdul Quddus as well.
Be a seam pass, and Quddus just read the quarterback.
Unnecessary roughness, number 42. Blow to the head. 15-yard penalty, automatic. 1st down.
We'll see Colston walk off.
You know, a lot of these big hits, Mike, are the direct result of the quarterback forcing the ball down the seam, and guys aren't open. And these safeties read it like a book, and looks like helmet to helmet there at that speed. But when you're playing full speed back there, you're reacting and you're not measuring people, and it's tough. But that ball's forced into a window where it shouldn't have been when the free safety's in that position.
When the training staff came out for the Lions, they came out at the timeout and brought water to the other players. I thought they were running towards Abdul Quddus to check him as well. They did not, so he's able to remain in the game. A blitz comes from the 12. Brees up top. Incomplete. Watson Man, the Saints have had many opportunities for touchdowns in tight tonight. Josh Bynes on.
And that ball's just underthrown. Hines made a great play getting that left hand in there. Drew knew he had him.
Play clock running down here, 2:24 to go. We have to take a timeout.
Ready. You ready? What's up?
You get it off in time. And incomplete for Watson. Clock stops at 2:21.
Just haven't been on the same page tonight in the red zone. Had a tough ending to the first half. They settled for a field goal earlier. And here's Marcus Colston back in the game, who took the hit on the previous play. And Colston's a man they like to look for. That 6'4" size in the scoring zone.
Breeze has been incomplete of 5 of his last 6 passes.
Ready. You ready?
Attempt 48 of the night coming here. In the middle, it's caught. First down for Watson. Ihedebo is slow to get up as we get to the 2-minute warning.
Got to try to jump the ball and run a sneak. Great job by Watson in a very contested area, and Ihedebo with a big hit.
Saints still alive here at the 2-minute warning. 35-20.
2-minute warning of Week 15 in the NFL. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Levy. Make sure you stay tuned after the game. The GMC postgame report coming up. Sports Center at night. I'll be joined by the fellas. Trent Dilfer, Ray Lewis, Steve Young. We'll break it all down. The guys will give their take, maybe some inside information, too, on Odell Beckham Jr.'s situation. 2 big matchups in the NBA and a different look at the Miss Universe fumble, if you will. All on Sports Center. Immediately follow the game. Mike and John, take us home.
Okay, Steve, thank you. So we're inside the 2 here now, so any challenges will be initiated by the replay booth. Saints looking to score, recover the onside kick, and keep their hopes alive here, down 15.
Ready. You ready? What's up?
Breeze slant broken up by Slay, intended for Cooks. That's what we're talking about with the guy who's becoming a #1 corner.
No doubt, he's done a lot. That's the 3rd time tonight in a tight one-on-one situation. There's a bullet slant. I call that a bullet one-step slant, and Darius Slay with that long left arm makes a beautiful play.
One thing the Lions have struggled mightily over the last few years, it's people in the back end, the secondary, but with Nevin Lawson, Slay, Quandre Diggs, they're coming along in that group of players as the season comes to an end. 15th play of the drive. Finally, they score with Watson on the touchdown.
Drew Brees, Sean Payton, they just keep coming. They might not win all the time. They just run out of time when they lose. They never go quietly. They ran Watson in the flat in a bunch formation. There was a natural pick, and Watson was wide open for 6. That's 3 touchdown passes for Drew Brees, and this is a big extra point here to make it a 1-possession game.
35-26. Get the 1 here. Try to make it an 8-pointer. Forbath pushes it through. 35-27. Love an onside kick coming up with 1:55 left. 15 plays. All passes, 80 yards on the drive.
They say, hey, why don't you become the new version of Jimmy Graham? And tonight he's got 6 more catches. He's closing in on 70 for the season, and he's a real tight end, Mike.
That's right. You talked about the high grade, both a blocker and a receiver. Not many. It's not the Real Housewives of Atlanta or anywhere else. It's the real tight ends of the NFL, like Jason Witten, over 1,000 catches in his career. Gronk at the top of the position, both a catcher and a blocker. Greg Olsen, who's been helping to lead that undefeated run for the Panthers. And Heath Miller out of the lineup, but now back in for Pittsburgh. The guys who you've identified, John, real tight ends of the NFL. I'm guessing you don't watch that reality show, Real
No, I don't,
Housewives.
but we're going to invite Ben Watson to the crowd, and I just got a call from Delaney Walker in Nashville. He wants to be part of this, but real tight ends that can line up on the end of line and do it all and also catch a football. Great year by Ben Watson. I hope he makes his first Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
He certainly deserves it. And here it is, Mike, the onside kick.
And Morstead is kicking off. Thomas Morstead, the punter, is not doing the long kickoffs because of an injury, but he's really good at getting that scoot, and big bounce. Calvin Johnson's over here on this side for Detroit, and Johnson able to fall on it. And the Lions have the ball at the 45-yard line with 1 minute and 54 left. If this plays out properly time-wise, New Orleans could still get the ball back with around 45 seconds or so left. So the game is not over yet.
And if I'm Jim Caldwell, I make sure I tell Joique Bell, you hang on to the ball. Bell and Abdullah have had fourth quarter fumbles. Got to protect the ball and the lead when the only issue is the clock.
First down run with Bell through the middle. Bell's got a first down at the 30 to the 20, and Bell stays on his feet inside the 10 and to the 8-yard line as the Saints will take that first time out with 1 minute 45, but a huge run there by Joique Bell.
That's hard to believe, just straight up the middle. And not much resistance from the Saints. Bird, number 31, who's been a disappointing safety on the tape that I have seen, has got to make that tackle when you're the unblocked man in an 8-man front, or it's a house call.
You're at the very edge of where if you take a knee, you can run out the clock. You cannot just take knees and run out the clock with 1 minute 45 and 1 timeout. This is 2 games worth of rushing offense for the Lions, which speaks to the woes of the Saints on defense. 20 carries for Detroit for 156 yards. Bell will be stopped. Saints take their final timeout. It takes 3 seconds. 1:42 to go and out of timeouts. So these teams are eliminated, but there are teams. Carolina is in. Arizona is in. Thank you, Carolina's check. I'm sorry about that, John. Seattle is in the playoff picture as well. So you got 4 teams in with the Packers as well. Washington, Saturday night against Philadelphia. Your brother's team will have a chance to win the division with that one. Minnesota still trying to find their way in. Kind of a similar story here in the NFC where you know most of what's going on. Atlanta, Philadelphia, and the Giants, those 2 teams for division purposes only. These teams, though, Carolina, Arizona, and Seattle, looking great as we head down the stretch.
Playing their best football when you need to play your best. A lot to be decided, though.
Lions are going to take a knee here with 1:42 to go. And this should get them time-wise, mathematically, right to the edge. As long as they can waste a second or so before taking that knee and resetting the 40-second play clock. John, for Matthew Stafford, a Lions record regular season completion percentage, 22 of 25. He breaks John Kitna's record that he set back in 2007.
Give him a lot of credit. I give Jim Caldwell credit. Makes a change on his coaching staff. There's changes in the front office. And if it's not for that Hail Mary, Mike, against Green Bay, the Lions had won 4 out of 5.
Stafford takes the knee with 56 seconds left. That'll wind it down to 16 seconds if they take a delay a game and they make a decision there of what they're going to do with an 8-point deficit. You're right about what could have been for the Lions this season. If they hold on and win, both of these teams will be 5-9. Detroit has their home finale at Ford Field against San Francisco on Sunday, and then they'll go to Chicago for Week 17. The Saints play Jacksonville, and the Jaguars are still mathematically alive at home, and then we'll go to Atlanta to close the season against the Falcons. So there's the delay of game, and the Lions will bring out Prater for the field goal. Matt Prater has not missed a field goal this season. But the way this season and the Lions' history has gone, nothing is automatic. 38 yards. All-out block should be coming from New Orleans. And Prater misses for the first time this year, wide right. So the Saints stay alive with 9 seconds left. 35-27. That wasn't even close.
And they get to defend another Hail Mary.
Right.
Be interesting to see how they deploy the Lions in this situation.
Well, multiple things here. Calvin Johnson's got his helmet. He's already walking back towards the goal line.
Oh, great.
With Breeze and that foot injury, can he get enough into it to get it downfield? The Lions didn't rush 4 when they completely screwed up the Rodgers play at the end of the Green Bay-Detroit game.
They're going to have to get some kind of a completion quickly to get Breeze in range for a Hail Mary.
Yeah, that's what I think they've got to do something underneath to get out of bounds to give them more yards. I don't know if Breeze can throw it to 72 yards at this point. That's why I mentioned the foot. The Lions do have the 3 defensive backs, including Calvin Johnson, back 42 yards away from the snap. They're back at the 30-yard line. It's a 3-man rush. Breeze going to throw underneath here. It's incomplete with 6 seconds left. So they were setting up to lateral the ball, and now we'll see what decision the Lions make defensively.
Well, they have Darius Slay protecting one sideline, and they have Nevin Lawson protecting the other sideline. Here's Slay, and here's Lawson. That ball is not going to get out of bounds with those 2 defenders, and then you look deep at Megatron daring somebody to throw the ball near him.
They're not going to throw it deep. So now they're set up for the way they should have been set up against Green Bay, and that's not the play that's coming. It'll be a series of laterals beginning with Hightower. He'll get as much as he can get, and he gets tackled. So no laterals, and the game's over. And the Lions get the victory 35-27. Both teams are 5-9 on the season. And Matthew Stafford and the Lions come on the road. They've won at Green Bay against Aaron Rodgers. They've won at New Orleans against Drew Brees this season. What a game we have for you next week. One of the biggest ones of the year in the AFC. Cincinnati in Denver. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We'll have the GMC postgame, then send you off to Scott Van Pelt Sports Center. But the Grit and Grinder coming up next from New Orleans.